Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is my personal diary again. This is day 4. Um, so it's only going to be a quick one today, just explaining a few things that some people have been asking, and maybe just answering a couple of debate questions and looking at this poll that we set up yesterday. Personally, I'm not on the best day today. Spent 4 hours in hospital. Which should have been a quick routine thing, but with it being backed up over Christmas and all this kind of thing, something that should have taken about an hour took 4. So I am seriously tired, don't feel that good, but the good news is my breathing is far beyond what it was yesterday. As I say, I was in hospital there and they were doing all the usual breathing tests, and it was like, take a big breath, and it's where's all this air come from? So a couple of developments on that. First of all, I need to just give a bit of a shout out to a couple of friends. First of all, Al King, who I've been doing so much buzzing today and all my breathing as well. He sent me to try this Doug Elliott mouthpiece. I think around New Year, something like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, it turned up. Must have cost him an absolute fortune to get it here next day. But it's brilliant. I think I'm going to order myself one. And what it's really good for is for all this buzzing practice I'm doing at the moment, and for breathing as well. Yesterday I was saying about how, or was it the day before? You can breathe any way you want, and the air has to form the embouchure. Well, now, because I've got this clear plastic rim, that is my breathing aid and my buzzing aid. So. As you can see, that's forming the embouchure for me. If I don't do that, that's just breathing. That's not really... Okay, it's getting my lungs to move and everything, but it's not. I don't think that's particularly helping the cause so much on what I want it to do. So yeah, breathing miles better, and that's helping with the buzzing as well. The other big shout out I really need to do is I've got a really good friend who plays the bass trombone, who came to see me today, called Sam Rowe. And funnily enough, she must be telepathic, because she brought for me, after watching these videos, the very book that I was about to order this afternoon. And that is this. It's called The Breathing Book by David Vining. This came as a suggestion from Nick Hudson last night on the Facebook page. So I haven't really got into this yet. I'm going to do my breathing that I was doing yesterday off that same PDF file, which I'll put in the description again. But that's really, really helping my playing. I can't quite believe how almost breathing ignorant I've been for so long. How that makes such a huge difference without even playing a note on an instrument yet. So I'll... It's more of a reading book, I think, apparently, this one. But I'll have a read, and I'll tonight and tomorrow, and give you an idea of some concepts, and maybe start running another thing on this channel of maybe books that you need to own, because this looks really interesting, and this is it's come out in the last few years, and it's totally bypassed me until now. So yeah, I'll have a look at this and see what it's like, and use it for a little while, and let you know how it goes. Some people have been asking questions about what I'm doing with the breathing. It really is simple. It's not a case of picking a number, say 5. You start at 5, put your metronome to crotch equals 60, in for 5, out for 5 for a minute. I'm not going to do all the minute now. I will myself, obviously. A minute of that. Same over 4 for a minute. Same over 3. Same over 2. then 30 seconds of in, out as hard as you can, ones. But take it steady. There's no reason to go filling yourself up and making yourself all different sorts of colours to start with. The thing is to gauge it so you're not just doing 5 or 3, you're going all the way to as much as you can inhale to as much as you can exhale as fast as you can. Okay, so having ramped that up now and made myself kind of dizzy, I guess it's now time to do some buzzing. And you can see now, if you look closer from the last few days, I did loads of buzzing last night, and I've done quite a bit today as well on these bail-in exercises before filming this video today. But can you see now everything's starting to line up that bit better? If I naturally do that, I can now, like I couldn't really before, do a bit of un-mouthpiece buzzing, if you want to call it that. You know, it's sort of a range of between a bottom B flat to a D. Range doesn't really worry me too much like that at the minute, because for me, I seem to have opened actually the biggest musical can of worms ever with this whole buzzing debate, especially with the whole thing there without buzzing without anything. The range, it doesn't fix any points for me. So for me, it's just about getting blood in my lips and, you know, whilst I'm watching TV or something, just... Because I find as well that my aperture closes quite a bit when I do that. If I lift up, there is a bit of an aperture there, obviously, because the air has to escape, but it's not the same as if I'm doing it with a mouthpiece. So thanks to Al's and Doug Elliott's unscrewable mouthpiece design, I've been using this quite a bit today, and I'm finding that this is quite interesting, and probably quite interesting for you guys as well, to help form my embouchure while you can see everything a lot clearer. So I haven't, in the bail-in, I haven't been going really above an octave, but I can with this. Not quite full notes there yet, but I'm hardly pressing at all, which is good. Hardly pressing at all. At the moment, I'm not worried about any articulation at all. It's just literally putting some air and some buzz through the mouthpiece. But then when we put this rim back on and start getting some proper resistance in there, you can hear how it cleans up. Now, I've been looking at quite a lot of interviews recently since this debate started about the whole mouthpiece thing. And should you have a clean sound on the mouthpiece when you buzz or not? Some people say almost if you sound too clean on the mouthpiece, it doesn't translate that well to the trombone. I'm undecided because there's many players that have got great sounds. I mean, Joe Alessi, real keen advocate of mouthpiece buzzing. When I was in my best form, was when we came out of the NYO, the National Youth Orchestra courses, with a tutor called Peter Gain. And it was a 2-week course, and every morning we did maybe 3 or 4 hours of trombone sectionals, where I would say a good half an hour of those sectional rehearsals was buzzing in the morning, a lot of the time on Bach chorales, which, you know, long sustained buzzing things. So for me, that worked. Back to players that have got different views. I watched an interview with Bob McChesney. If you haven't heard of him, one of the greatest jazz trombone players out there at the moment, a big session player in America, came up, well, he didn't come up with it, but he's definitely one of the greatest exponents, up there with Bill Watrous of doodle tonguing. I'll link him in this interview, in this comments box. But he said in an interview with, I think, on the channel Paul the Trombonist, about buzzing, the cleaner you can get your buzz, the more compact your sound is, and the more flexible you are. So obviously it's a completely subjective thing. For me, I'm just using this to get me doing some playing, get me back into playing actually. And yeah, when I think about it, when I was in my best form, I did quite a lot of buzzing. So maybe I need to do more of it. Doesn't really matter what it is. So if I just show you how it's cleaning up now and how the corners are staying down a bit better. And there's the top B flat, top C. And I'm really not having to press, I'm not having to work. The low register, I think, is where I'm going to have to do my most work. So there you go. So this is day 4. Quite incredible, really, what this bail-in thing and a load of buzzing is doing for me. Considering that this is day 4 now, and on day 1, I could hardly do anything. And you can see, look, my lips still aren't quite the right shape. But I'm wondering about getting back to some playing tomorrow, but we'll see how I feel. Just a quick last thing then. The poll that we set up on Facebook last night, yeah, at the top didn't really throw up any major surprises for me. Everyone's still using the Arbon. If it's good enough for Arturo Sandoval and everyone, like they say in their interviews on YouTube, if you haven't seen them, look them up. I'll post it in here again. I think that was another Paul the Trombonist interview. In fact, it's a good channel. It's a good channel. I'll post that one. Loads of really good interviews on there. Yeah, so it didn't really throw up many surprises for me. But I think there's a couple of books I need to order, and I'll go into those perhaps tomorrow once I've ordered them. But I think tomorrow will be interesting. Hopefully get some first notes out of my trombone, which turned up today. Very excited. And then see where we go from there. I think I'm going to start with a good old Remington warm-ups or the Mike Davis 15-minute, which again, when I was in my best form, that's what I used to do every day. So small steps. Hope everyone's well. Hope you're all enjoying this challenge. See you tomorrow.